College, the faculty, staff, and the administration here at Palo Alto College. Welcome and thank you for joining this open house for our Project Access. I know most importantly that we have some of our peer advisors on here and former students at Project Access, and I want to thank them so much because a lot of these students in return have come back and given that help back to fellow students, or what we like to call their peers, and help them excel. The peer-to-peer support, is unmatched that we get here at Palo Alto College, and I think that's what makes us unique is that we're a family. You're going to hear the word a lot, familia, family here, and continue to help support each other through this educational journey. As I mentioned earlier, Cindy will draw attention to the staff and the faculty that, are available here today. But, most importantly, we can't do this without the faculty and staff that have given their heart and soul into Project Access here. Just to give you a little bit of context, Project Access, and Cindy will go a little more in detail, but it's already 5 years that we've offered Project Access here at Palo Alto College. But the unique thing about it is that we've had a roughly 81 students come through Project Access here over the 5 years at Palo Alto College. Okay. And those 81 students earned approximately about 118 level one certificates have been awarded to date. And you're probably thinking, well, how can it be 81 students, but 100 and y'all hear me, Cindy? I froze for a minute.
Yeah, it's okay. It kind of goes in and out a little bit, but we can hear you.
Okay. And so, 81 students have come through the program, and we offered 118 certificates have been earned already. And you're probably wondering, well, how can it be 81 students and 118 certificates? Well, some students have earned multiple certificates through their journey here. And this semester, we're proud to say that we have approximately a little over 20 students that are pending graduation this semester and earning their credentials. So, we're very proud of those accomplishments that our students have made, and we look forward to serving many more students. We know that you guys have many choices when it comes to education, and sometimes not so many choices when it comes to education, but we want to thank you for thinking about Palo Alto College, considering Palo Alto College, and looking at the opportunities that we have available for you. I know today Cindy's going to talk to you about Project Access, what it is, how we got started, the educational opportunities. But I ask y'all to really, sit back, listen, hear, and learn about Project Access. Because I know for many of us, it may not be the right fit for us, or there may be other opportunities. And that's completely fine if you decide to choose PAC as your, not being your school of choice. But just sit back, enjoy, learn, and ask questions. As long as you have, as long as we're continuing here, don't be afraid to ask questions, because I think that's the only way we learn. So again, on behalf of the Palo Alto College students, faculty, staff, and administration, welcome and enjoy today's show by Cindy.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that.
Yes,
so I'm actually typing in a message because one of our persons that's on here is not able to hear anything. So I'm just sharing. I would encourage you guys, if you can't hear, if you're having any difficulty, please watch the screen. I'm going to share the PowerPoint. I can answer any questions at the end. So again, I do apologize. You can also try to leave the Zoom and come right back in. Sometimes that does help. So again, either way, we'll try to get you taken care of. All right, so thank you again for joining. I also just wanted to mention for those who can see in the chat, there is the Project Access application in there. So we can share that once we finish with this presentation. All right, and so one more time before I go through the continue on with the presentation, for those who've just joined, if you don't mind muting yourself again, so we don't have any background noise trying to interfere with the presentation, I would appreciate that. So again, welcome again. I do appreciate your time for joining in. It's a little difficult when we do this virtual environment. So as you can tell, sometimes my face will freeze. Sometimes voices will kind of sound robotic. But it happens, right? So we just go with the flow. We're doing the best we can in our remote environment. So again, we appreciate your patience. All right, so the next part on our agenda is basically introducing ourselves. So again, my name is Cindy Morgan. I may have had the pleasure of talking with y'all or emailing back and forth. I am the senior coordinator here at PAC for Disability Support Services. I also oversee the Project Access program, which, as Mr. Jimenez had mentioned, has been around since fall of 2016. I've got some wonderful support that has helped along the way with this program. So it's definitely a team effort. And so you're going to hear from some of our instructors later, but I would at least like to give them nods now by introducing them. So we have Dr. Rose Zambrano on the Zoom here with us. She is the instructor for these SDEV 0370. So she'll give you more information about that, but if you'll just give us a wave, Rose, say hello. We also
Yes,
have
greetings to everyone, and I'm so glad to see your smiling faces and just the fact that you're spending an evening with us. I think you'll really have a big takeaway from this evening.
absolutely. She's been with us since the beginning. So again, you know, I love that these folks have been with us. So they know all the students that have come through the program. We also have Dr. Joshua Garcia. He teaches on the business side. Where are you at, Dr. Garcia?
I'm right here. Cindy, how are you today?
Good, thank you.
Welcome to everybody. I oversee the actual site on the business house, and we want to invite anybody or everybody who wants to come to our program. We welcome you with open arms. So
thank you. All right, and next on here, I think at some point we're going to have our guest speaker, which is a Project Access graduate student coming on. Hopefully he will join us at some point in time. But we also have the staff that works in the DSS office, also works closely with our students in the Project Access program. That would be Hillary Hilario. She's a peer advisor. Say hello, Hillary.
Hi, guys.
So some of us are a little shy and we just show our pictures, and that's totally fine. Again, sometimes it's just simply because of internet issues. So next I would like to introduce Jonathan Donnell. He is a senior generalist at the campus. I think I may have said his title wrong, I'm not sure, but we appreciate what he does. Say hello, Jonathan.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Cool. All right. So again, they'll all have a little bit more to say later on in the program. We also have my immediate supervisor, Carmen Velasquez Avila, who usually is on here with us saying us hello and welcome to PAC as well. She is in class this evening, so she's not able to join us. But again, we had Mr. Jimenez, who's our director of advising, take her place. And so we're happy to have everybody on here this evening. So I will go ahead and start with the PowerPoint presentation. Again, if anybody has questions, we do have time at the end for a question and answer session. There will be other people that speak as well. So just bear with me. I hope I don't bore you to sleep. So let's get started. Let me see if I can move screens here and get going with this PowerPoint. So I have my staff being able to let me know if there's any technical issues, but hopefully we'll go forward smooth sailing. So again, we are Project Access. This is our virtual open house. Thanks to the pandemic, this is how we have to do things sometimes, right? Okay, so just to kind of give you some information, you can see in this picture here some of our folks that have started from the beginning. So Palo Alto College did launch our program in fall of 2016. It was the first of its kind in San Antonio, being offered to individuals with documented intellectual disabilities. I can't say we're the one and only anymore because I think that there is a university who is starting or did start a program this past year. But I always like to say we're the best and we're the most affordable. So stick with us, okay? And we'll tell you all about what we have to offer. The goals of our program are to provide students with post-secondary educational access, develop skills for gainful employment, and to earn a general office level 1 certificate. Now, again, you may be wondering, what is that? We'll get into some of the details of that in a little bit, but I just want to let you know where we start. We've got some wonderful staff and faculty that are part of this program. Again, besides myself, the instructors I've already introduced. The other instructors that teach our courses are Mr. Chris Sosa, Isabel Fales, Sammy Monreal, Dr. Jennifer Lattis, and Dr. Joanne Paz. So some of these instructors have been around for a couple of semesters. Some we've had the pleasure of just joining this semester, but they're all wonderful. They are just fantastic at working with our population. So we're so happy to have them. And you can see on here, there's some pictures that I've included in the slides, and these are different students that have been coming through our program. We call them cohorts, okay? So the group of students that comes in. So first of all, I just want to share with you guys, the program criteria. And so again, some of y'all may have read the flyers that have gone out. You might have discussed it with a counselor or friend, family member, but I just want to make sure that we're really clear on our expectations and what we need the students to have, okay? So the student that is interested in our program must have a documented intellectual disability. And again, we can go into that detail privately, discussing the diagnosis at a later time, but I just, if you've been diagnosed with that ID, diagnosis, then you fit the bill, okay? The next thing is we need to make sure that the student has completed high school, so graduated from high school or have a GED equivalent. Now, because we are trying to recruit students to start in the fall of 2021, what that means is, so if there's one of y'all out there that right now is a senior and you're graduating this semester, like the end of May, the end of June, you're perfect, that you qualify, okay, because you're going to be graduating. If, for example, you happen to still be going through some sort of program, like there's the NETS program, Nellie Reddick's, things like that, where maybe you've already completed a lot of your high school criteria, classes and things like that, but maybe you're still in that extra up to age 21 program. As long as you've completed all your curriculum, you can still request your diploma to be released, and then that would make you eligible for the program in fall, okay? If you have any questions about that, we can discuss that later. I also need to make sure that the students are able to read. I know, we all struggle with reading different levels, but if your reading level is at least between 4th and 6th grade, you will be able to carry on a conversation with your classmates as well as your instructor. Okay, that is something that we definitely need. And then, so that's the initial criteria. Once you start going through the application steps, all applicants are going to be reviewed and ranked according to their scores. The class sizes that we keep are very small. We only like to accept between 10 and 12 students per semester. We bring them in every spring and fall. The reason why we keep them so small is because we want it to be very manageable for the instructors and for the students to learn as well. We know they need a little additional help, and so that's the reason for the small class size. They're still going to be learning the same curriculum and rigor that any other college student would be, because these are regular college classes that they'll be taking, but it's just the delivery and how the additional instruction comes through. So again, the admissions process and a lot of information, okay? So again, stay with me. If you're starting to get a little tired, move around, whatever you got to do, take a drink of water, but let's continue on. With the admissions process, so again, I'm the coordinator of the Disability Support Services Department, and what I have to do is I need to confirm that the applicants meet the criteria. So we have this open house event that we have now. After that, the next step would be, if you're interested, you complete the application and you submit that to me. That gets emailed to me. Once I receive that application and review it, which again is a very simple application, it's not anything too difficult, then I would actually reach out to each student and do a pre-interview screening, which basically means I call you on the phone, ask you a few questions to make sure that everything seems aligned, it's a good fit for you, you're a good fit for us, both ways, right? Then if you pass that part, then we go ahead and schedule you an actual Zoom interview. The Zoom interview will be with yourself, and you can have a family member, whether you want a parent or guardian with you, that's totally fine. It would also include the two instructors, Dr. Zambrano and Dr. Garcia. Both of them are part of the interview committee, because it's best if I can get the instructors buy-in on the students coming into the program, because they're the ones that are teaching the content. They're the ones that can help determine if the student is going to be good for this program, okay? Because we want to select the students that are going to be the most successful, okay? Again, because we are so small, we don't want to give just a slot to everyone, because again, that kind of defeats our purpose of trying to successfully graduate these students, okay? The next step after the interview, if we feel that the student should go forward, is to then sign up to take the TSI, which is Texas Success Initiative. Don't ask me to say that 3 times fast, it's too much. So we just call it TSI. Basically what this test is, it's the entrance test to the college. Every student who applies to any of the Alamo colleges must take the TSI. What the test does is it helps determine what your reading level is. So please, if you're sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, it's another test, I don't like tests, it's okay. This is not a pass or fail. Again, it is just simply something to help determine your reading level. And also with that reading level, sometimes you may not necessarily be at 4th grade level, but if you cognitively can understand, carry on a conversation, sometimes that outweighs it. Okay, so it's not necessarily you've got to be between that 4th and 6th. There's a lot of things that will help us determine if you're right for our program. Again, we have orientation every spring and fall. So once students are accepted into our program, we have additional support that is offered every semester. So right now, of course, we've been in this remote environment, so everything is through Zoom. We have the staff, Hillary and Jonathan, who get to sit in on these Zoom classes, can help, a student if they have trouble with homework, have a question, anything like that. If the instructor is not available and they have additional questions, well, then they reach out to our staff. For when we are on campus, which we're hoping will be fall, face-to-face classes, we usually send a work study person to that classroom to be the note taker, because pretty much we know that is one of the most common accommodations that most all of our students are going to need, which is assistance with note taking. So what we do is we make sure that there's somebody in there that can help take class notes in general, and then those are emailed to all of the students. So at the end of the day, when you go home, parents or guardians, whatever, may ask, oh, what'd you learn in school today? Well, you can show them your notes. Hopefully you were listening and you can also tell them what you learned in class. But again, the notes are there to help you with studying whatever. All right, and so here is a picture of what the classes look like. So to earn the general office level 1 certificate, there's actually a total of 16 college credit hours, which is basically 7 classes that you would be taking, okay? But we spread this out over 3 semesters. And the reason for that is because we don't want students to be overwhelmed. We want to make sure that they are comfortable with taking the classes and getting the work done and learning, right? So the very first semester, they're going to take the SDEV class, which is Foundations for College Learning, that Dr. Zambrano teaches, the beginning keyboarding class, which is taught by any of our business instructors. And then after that semester, which that would be in fall, then next spring, you would go into your second semester, and then you would be taking this first class here, which is Business English, and then Administrative Office Procedures. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail about those courses. I'll let the instructors kind of give you some information about what is taught in them. But again, just to give you an idea of what you would be looking at. And then the next fall, which would be fall of 2022, then you would be in your third and final semester to earn that certificate. And you would be taking 3 classes. So one is Records and Information Management, one is Business Math, and then Job Search Skills. The Job Search Skills is only a 1-hour class. So even though it's 3 classes, it's still very manageable. And students would be considered part-time students because they're taking at least 6 college credit hours. So that's a part-time status. So again, once you come through this program, if you're accepted, you will actually have earned 16 college credit hours. Now, some of the students, whether you're have already graduated from high school, I'm not sure. And don't worry about age. We do not discriminate. Doesn't matter how old you were, as long as you're able to, you have completed high school and you can join this program, okay? So some students may think, well, maybe I don't know if I'm cut out for college. And so maybe you get a fast food job or, retail, I'm not sure. There's different things out there. Maybe you're not even working because you didn't think you could. We want to give you that confidence. And believe me, when the students come through this program, all the instructors can attest to this. Their confidence level just goes through the roof. It's amazing to see them transform as they come through this program. So again, if I could ask, if y'all don't mind, if you can mute your side, I would appreciate that. Thank you. So once you finish that first certificate, there are additional certificates that you can earn. There's 2 more. There's the Data and Entry Technician certificate and also Bill and Account Collector. So there's, again, different opportunities for you to earn a position once you have this college credit under your belt. All right, so some of y'all may be asking, well, how much is this program going to cost? Again, community college is very affordable. So just as an example, if we break down the first semester with the 2 classes, it is going to be, if you're in district, meaning if you're in Bear County, the tuition rate for 2 classes with everything, all the fees, is about $638. Again, very affordable. And if you happen to be out of district, maybe in a different county, it would be a little higher at $1,334. But again, because these are regular college classes, they are eligible for lots of different tuition payment plans. There's a payment plan where you can get on, maybe you pay a third at a time, make 3 equal payments. If anybody in your family happens to be a veteran and you're entitled to veterans tuition assistance, there's that. Sometimes we have students that go through Texas Workforce Solutions and might be able to get some sort of tuition assistance. So there's lots of different ways, but the main one I like to encourage students to do is to fill out the free application for federal student aid, which is also called FAFSA. That is a way that if you're eligible, you can get what I call free money. It's basically, it's a Pell Grant from the government, and they can cover your tuition. And then most of the time they are able to cover the tuition and then still give you some extra money for books, if books are needed for your classes, or just extra added living expenses. Okay, so it's a really good deal. So this is a picture of our very first open house that we had after the students had joined. It was right at the end of the fall semester. So here's our instructors here. Here's the students and parents. We had a very small cohort when we first started the program. I think there were 7. And you can see here, here's some quotes from 2 of our students who have already gone through the program and graduated. Jacob here says, "I have been given the skills to show who I really am, to know what it's like to live in a normal life, to live a normal life, what it's like to begin a fresh start, and now I have shown great responsibility for my future." And Jessica says, "Anybody with a disability can attend Palo Alto and be successful. I have a disability, which is Down syndrome, and I'm successful. I tell people, don't limit me, and I tell all people with disabilities, don't limit yourself." So again, these are our original all-stars. So here's a picture of that first cohort, the 7 students that when they finished through the program, which was in December of 2017, in the fall, Palo Alto College would hold a academic achievement dinner. So because graduation ceremony is usually only once a year in May, this is what we do to help honor our students that finish in the fall. So if I could, I'm going to share a video with y'all. And again, I'm going to just make sure that everything goes through. So y'all let me know if there's any issues with the sound, please. Let's see if I can get that up here.
I kind of thought I wouldn't go through it, but I've started learning. He would go through some advice that all my teachers have given me a lot of advice, you know.
College is like my home to me, and I expect everybody to be like as my family, and I feel safe around the campus.
It's mostly because y'all give me comfortable experience to come here, and it's really helped me. I come every day. I'm usually here 10 minutes early just to get used to it. And that's me, and I like it.
So far, it would have to be either student development. It helped my personality and my way of talking to people.
I'm meeting all good friends like Chris and Lourdes and everybody else, and I am excited to be here.
Meeting new friends has been a good experience. And also going to class. I love going to class. It's like cool.
Okay, was everybody able to see that? Hopefully. Okay, great. All right. And so some people will ask, well, show me the data. Tell me, how successful have the students been? So I didn't update with fall 2020 because I was afraid the screen was gonna make it too small, but just here's some information for those who were interested. So starting with cohort 1 all the way through cohort 7, and the one we brought in this semester is cohort 8. So you guys that are applying now, you would be considered cohort 9 once you're accepted. So again, it just kind of gives you an idea every semester what their average grade point average is. So for those who maybe not familiar with that, 4.0 is A, straight A's. 3 point something is anywhere in the B range. 2 point something is anywhere in the C range. And I'm happy to say that for the most part, all of our students have done really well in the program. The bottom line is they do have to get a C or better in order to graduate. So, we may have had 1 or 2 students who have had to repeat a class because maybe they earned a D and a D is not passing. So they will have to repeat the class. But overall, they're very successful in our program. So just to show you some awards and recognition, of course, as time has gone along, this is from 2018. So I don't know if anybody's heard of Team Ability, but at their 11th annual two-step event, our then president, now chancellor, Dr. Mike Flotis, was recognized with the Spirit of Innovation Award, and there's our staff there. In November of 2018, we were part of the Texas Higher Education Star Awards finalist. Again, writing a report about our program, so that was very humbling to be honored with that recognition. KENS 5 did an interview on television about our program. That was really exciting. They came into the classroom and got to interview some of our students. So letting them speak was just the best advertisement I can ask for. And then Texas Public Radio, I joined one of our students as well as Melanie from Disability SA to do an interview promoting higher education. So again, lots of fun stuff. Now, I would like to talk about some of the most important information that I'm sure everybody's wanting to know, like, well, what is it going to look like in the fall semester? So in the fall, right now, we are hoping that with this pandemic happening, we are anticipating at least a 50, possibly up to a 75% return to campus. And what that means is, say, out of all of our classes, if 50%, that basically means half the classes can come back on campus. So for right now, with Project Access, we are definitely anticipating going to be on campus, okay? So our classes, they meet twice a week. So basically you would be on campus 2 days out of the week for just maybe 2 or 3 hours out of the day. So it's very manageable. I can give you more details again as we start going through the interview process. Transportation, you can either be dropped off by parents, you can ride the bus. There's lots of ways to get there. So again, we don't make you come too early because we know there's 8 o'clock traffic, right? Rush hour. We also know some people may travel from the north side of town. So we don't want to make things too early. We want to make sure that everybody can get to their class on time. But the main thing is we want to make sure that everybody knows that the health and wellness of our students and staff is our highest priority. It's always safety first with us. So I thought this was cute to have our little mascot with this Why I Wear a Mask essay. Again, we want to practice safety. So even though, some folks may have started getting the vaccine, hopefully everybody will eventually be able to get a vaccine if they want one, but we are still going to require students that come to campus to wear a mask, and we are still going to practice social distancing. So last year, our board actually even came up with a policy, use of face covering, social distancing at college district sites. Oops, excuse me, went too fast. I will tell you guys this, an acceptable mask is one that definitely goes over your nose, your mouth, and your chin, and goes around the ears. What is not going to be acceptable would be a plastic face shield, because with the shield, it's not covering, it's not closely fit to the face. So there's still an opportunity for anything to come out or to go in. So we don't consider that safe. So again, it's got to be a mask. It cannot be one of those neck gaiters, which sort of is like a handkerchief just kind of pulls up because it's too thin, and it can't be a handkerchief. So again, it's got to be an official mask. Now, when students come to campus or any visitors come to campus, there will be a temperature check station, which right now it's located in the Ozuna building, which is our library building. And they have masks there. So if somebody happens to come on campus and forgot their mask, not a problem. You will be provided one free of charge. You get to keep it. We don't want it back, okay? But everybody that comes to campus will be expected to have their temperature checked. And it's not done by anybody. Thankfully, we have these really cool automated machines that you just sort of walk up to, and it will say something on the screen, like if your face is within the right area, and then you just hold a second and it takes the temperature from that distance and then spits out a little wristband, and you put the wristband on, and that shows everybody on campus that you've been cleared to be on campus. Okay, that's how that works. Oops, wrong way. There we go. Okay, now other things as far as applying for this program. I've got to make sure that I've got due dates on here, because even though right now we're in April, the beginning of mid-April now, and we're looking to start these students when the fall school year starts, which is the end of August, there are a lot of things that we need to get done before high schools close, because a lot of students need to reach out to their high school to either get their documentation or to get official high school transcripts. And so all of that information needs to be communicated with the high schools before they go on summer break, because once they go on summer break, then we'd have to wait until August when they come back to get all this. And I don't want to go through that. That gives me nightmares if I wait too long. Okay, so that's why I want to make sure that everybody knows, stick to these timelines, please. So you can see on here, April 16th is basically when I want, because today we're at April 12th, right? So we're talking 4 more days. Should be plenty of time. So if you're on here tonight and you decide, you know what, I like this program, I want to try to be part of it. So the application, if you can either get from the chat or we can email you, not a problem. I would ask for you guys to fill out that application and submit it back to me. You just simply email it to me sometime this week. As soon as I get that email from you, what I'm going to do is then again, reach out to those to do that phone pre-interview, right? The quick little questions. And then after that point, I'm actually going to schedule Zoom interviews. And those Zoom interviews are already set up in our calendar for next week, the week of April 19th through the 22nd. We've got afternoon time slots. Hopefully I've got plenty of opportunity to meet everybody's needs. If not, if you need a special time that's outside of that, definitely I'll talk to you about that and we'll make that happen. After that point, what I'd like to do is, once we interview with a student, we can pretty much tell at that point if we want them to continue on with the additional application steps. So May 7th, I want interviewed applicants to have completed steps 3 through 5, which I know right now the numbers don't mean anything to you, but trust me, on the second page of the application, the enrollment steps are numbered, okay? So you'll be able to know which ones I need you to finish. And then once you finish those, then you notify me when those are complete, because then after that, then we've got to schedule you for the TSI, okay, with our testing center. Again, right now, while we're remote, it's pretty much done at home. You can do this at home on your computer. Then by May 24th, I would really like to be able to identify the 10 to 12 students that we're going to formally accept into cohort 9. And then by that point, you've got another week or so that you can reach out to your high school, get your high school transcript, submit that to our PAC admissions and records, upload proof of bacterial meningitis vaccine if needed, and complete the financial aid application. So again, it may seem a little overwhelming, but please don't stress out, don't worry about it. We will help you along the way. I do encourage you to have your family members help you complete your application. And then on the application, I would also like to ask if it's possible to make sure that you include phone numbers, not only for the student, but the parent or guardian, and then email addresses, because I've had some difficulty in the past, maybe trying to reach out to that student applicant, and I have no other way to contact them. And so I just, want to make sure that I've got help along the way. If you get stuck on a step, let me know. Okay, we're here to help you for sure. Another cool thing that I wanted to include in here is that I know a lot of people, you will stress out when you have to do the financial aid application. There's just unfortunately no way of saying it. It's kind of like filling out your taxes. It's overwhelming, right? But there's help for that. So that's the good news. There are virtual FAFSA nights. So you can see here, April 15th, there's one coming up. April 28th, there's another, and May 10th, there's another. And these are all from 6 to 7 p.m. And basically you go to these links here after you've registered and you sign up and you attend these, and they'll basically walk you through step by step on how to fill out this FAFSA, which is fantastic because once you get started, it's really not that difficult, okay? But that way you can get that FAFSA filled out, find out if your student is eligible for financial aid. Again, if you are, that's wonderful because it's always free money, right? So I just wanted to mention that. So let me look real quick at my notes to see what else I had on here that I wanted to mention. I know I do want to have, I want to give an opportunity for our instructors to talk. So actually, let's do that now because you're probably tired of my voice and I need a break too. I'm going to take a drink of water. So up first, if you don't mind, can we have Dr. Rose Zambrano go ahead and give some information, please?
Sure. Good evening, everyone, and I'm so glad you all are part of this. Again, it's always a pleasure for me. I have had the honor of teaching Project Access students since the program began, and it really is an honor. The STEP 0370, Foundations for College Learning, is a course designed to teach students how to navigate the college system. And by that, I mean, simply put, that you can be a college student, but you want to be a successful college student, right? So the key word is successful. And so I teach them the strategies, the shortcuts, work smarter, not harder, you know, all that it is to prepare them for the journey. And so some of the topics that might be included would be study skills, time management, and goal setting. Those are just some of the topics. Additionally, I invite guest speakers from our campus at this moment to Zoom in because we are remote, and they present on their services. For example, the tutoring services, which are a great benefit to many students. And then we have our library services that, again, have great databases, lots and lots of great books and magazines that students have access to. And then our career services. That's another unit on our campus that provides job resume, interview skills, just anything to prepare them for that journey, whether it's a part-time job or whether it is preparing for completing when they complete the certificate. So they have that opportunity. And hopefully, and I sincerely state that in the fall, we will be face-to-face. I have been a face-to-face faculty member for a long time. So when the pandemic hit, I had to shift gears and go from person to person or face-to-face to remote, just as some of you that are in education know. And so, and it was doable, thankfully, it was doable. And I am thankful and appreciate technology. But it's a whole different instructional method. And so again, just for info, that in the fall, that should resume. And the schedule, I know Cindy had a slide that spoke to that or addressed that rather, and that class is a Tuesday and Thursday at 9:30 to about 10:45, somewhere in that neighborhood. Yeah, depends. Sometimes we go till 10:30. And it goes extremely fast. 16 weeks may seem like a long time, but it really isn't, because again, if you're used to the K-12 system that's practically all day, this is quite a whirlwind, but it's a pleasant one. How's that? Also, I want to share that the students, I'm so glad that we heard those testimonials, but I know that, as Cindy mentioned earlier too, we as faculty and staff present have witnessed that students are transformed. They're enthused and engaged. They're eager to learn. They are so eager to learn. And opportunities are presented to them where they actually are becoming self-reliant and independent. And that is quite a feat. That doesn't always happen in a learning environment. I know you all know what I mean. So they come to realize and recognize that they have abilities and strengths that they can contribute to society. And so it's all about what they can do, not about what they cannot do. And I'm a big promoter of that. It's not about what's wrong, it's what's right. And that's always been my sort of my middle ground, if you will, that I kind of teach from that angle. And so clearly, the Project Access students are trendsetters. They're paving the way for their future. And to conclude, I just want to add that Project Access students are definitely transforming their lives. And I'll be around to answer any questions y'all may have at the end of the session. So again, welcome everyone. And again, feel free to ask me anything you might need to know.
Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Garcia, and I teach all the classes in the business side of the house. I want to welcome everyone here. I want you to know that if you are privileged to be cohort number 9, congratulations, congratulations, and another congratulations to you. Just a quick information of what we do in the business school is that we want to get you prepared. We want to get you ready for the workforce. And if we can teach you all of the skills that they're what we refer to as hard skills and soft skills, we can make you better prepared for the workforce. And this is how we do it. One of our first classes is what we call beginning keyboarding. And this is where we kind of go through the actual information regarding how you key on a keyboard. Now, I know a lot of you guys are on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all those good social media sites. So you probably already know how to work the keyboard, but we want to know how to help you work the keyboard. Now, I'm hoping that everybody has a computer at home, maybe a tablet, hopefully a laptop, because you do require that for our classes. Now, all of the classes that we have, we require that you use Microsoft Office, right? And that includes Microsoft Office Word, Microsoft Office Excel, Microsoft Office PowerPoint. And so we want you to know that we use that specific application for our classes. One of our second class is Business English. And this is where we go through all of the 8 parts of speech. We're talking adjectives and adverbs and pronouns and conjunctions and interjections and all that good stuff that goes along with English. Then we go on to the administrative office procedures. And here we talk about different ways how you can actually learn how an office setting works. Typing and filing and interviewing and all that stuff that goes along with that. Then we have records management. Records management is a fancy way, just a fancy way of saying filing. We're going to teach you how to file through the alphabets, through numericals, through names, through positions, and all that good stuff that goes along with that. So if you were to get a job in maybe an office setting, you know how to file. You know how to file all of the items electronically or manually, whichever. Then we go into math. Math. Oh, everybody hates math. I hate math. But we talk about arithmetic, we talk about money, we talk about currency, we talk about percentages, we talk about all kinds of math stuff just to get you ready for the workforce. And one of the last items we have is a class called Job Search Skills. Here we teach you how to interview for a job, how to create a resume for a job, how to create a cover letter for a job. Now, I want you to know that we are with you every step of the way. We don't leave you alone for anything at all. If you have any questions, any concerns, anything you want to talk about, we are here for you. We are here to help you succeed. This is what we do. This is our responsibility. We are here with you from day 1 to the end of the last day that you graduate with us. We hope and we pray that you take out the time to fill out the application, take everything you need to do, and come on board as cohort number 9. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. I'm here.
Thank you, Dr. Garcia. Hey, Seth. Good timing. So yeah, y'all saw me answer my cell phone because I was trying to get a hold of Seth. So, so he's our guest speaker. He's a Project Access graduate. And so I'm going to let him tell you guys a little bit about himself and how he's enjoyed this program and what he's doing right now because he's still in college. Go, Seth.
Hello, everyone. I have been a student of this program from 2017, the fall semester, until I graduated from the program in, May of 2020. And I did very well. I've made very good grades. I've enjoyed it. I have made new friends in this process. It has changed my life in many ways. And right now I'm taking criminal justice courses via the criminal justice program at Palo Alto College. I'm acing all of those as well. And what I want people to understand is that people with disabilities can go to college. They can be successful and they can do a good job. And Dr. Joshua Garcia, you're the one who taught me about, please do not speak in long sentences. And I have done very well. And like I said, I've made many friends in this process. And this is my last semester because I do need some courses and some computer training that unfortunately Alamo Colleges is not able to offer at this time. So eventually I might have to go somewhere else for some advanced studies, but I have enjoyed this program very much. And I'm taking the last two classes I'm taking right now are court practices and procedures. And I'm also taking correctional practices and procedures. And I've enjoyed especially all of the criminal justice classes. Thank you.
So Seth, I have a quick question for you. So for these new students that are interested in the program, what advice would you have to tell them as far as what would help them while they're in this program? Because I'm sure they're all nervous, as you were at the beginning, right?
Yes. And the Palo Alto College's Project Access Disability Office is there to help you. Cindy Morgan, who is a true advocate and probably the best financial college advisor I have ever had, will help you in any way she can. They will have someone take notes for you if it is necessary. They will make sure that if you have problems, if you require a service animal, that animal is allowed to be present in class with you if it is necessary. They will you can take tests in the lab. You can still do that right now, Cindy, right?
Well, right now we're still remote, so I'm not sure how the fall's going to go.
But but in the fall, if it is allowed again, in-person learning, you can take classes, you can take tests in the lab. But however, they are not going to baby you and hold your hand the whole time. This is college, and you have to be willing to put forth the effort to do your assignments, get them taken care of, and get them submitted when it's time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Seth.
Thank you.
I want to say that Seth was a trailblazer, and I really thank Seth for going through the program. He is one of the best students that we've had in the program. And Seth, congratulations on everything that you have accomplished. You are one special guy.
Thank you.
He absolutely is.
Very quickly and brief. Yes, I commend you, Seth, but I never ever doubted that you had a capacity to do more. And it's contagious. I'll say that, that he was in my class, in the SDev, and students gravitated to him because, again, he's very engaged and participates, and he loves to learn. How's that? I think that's a big deal. If you love it, it shows. And obviously he's reaping the rewards of that. So again, congrats, my hat's off to you.
Yeah. And I want to ask y'all something. Dr. Garcia and Dr. Zambrano, do y'all know Bill Pennington or Barry Parker by chance? Have y'all met them?
I know
they are outstanding. They both are. And Bill Pennington is still investigator with the Medina County Sheriff's Office. And Bill Pennington retired after over 30 years as a Bexar County prosecutor. And they're both excellent instructors. They're excellent. And they've taught me quite a bit in this process. And as some of y'all know, I'm now working with Professional Contracting Service Industries, PCSI. in their legal department as a legal research assistant. And I'm on one of my big projects right now as we speak.
That's good. And where did you start? Before that, what was your job at PAC?
I was a student worker in the project with the
In the DSS
Project
office.
Access Office for Students with Disabilities at Palo Alto College, and I worked with Cindy Morgan in the lab. And as some of y'all also know, I also worked an internship a few years back with Senator Jose Menendez, who is a big advocate for students, people with disabilities.
Thank you, Seth. We appreciate that. So
You're welcome.
yeah, so obviously we have various students that come through our program, lots of different desires, learning styles, and things like that. Seth, from the beginning, he's always talked about how he just loves law, wanted to be a paralegal, all that stuff. So he's living out his dream now. He's, finished the program and he was able to move on and take some of these other classes. So a lot of that is going to depend upon too, when the students take that TSI exam and whether it indicates to us whether they're at college level for English and math. Some students may not be, they might be at developmental and might have to take some additional classes to get to the college level. We have students that are in that degree right now of learning in our program, because again, once they finish with the certificates that we can offer through Project Access, they can still continue on learning other fields of study there at Palo Alto. Because again, since I run the disability office, I'm still there. I can provide accommodations no matter what class they're in. It may not be as intense as the Project Access program is, but there are still supports to help students. So just wanted to let y'all know that.
But I just want to add that it's going to depend largely on the student and them be willing to be successful.
Oh, absolutely. For sure. And one of the big words I try to tell students all the time, you better learn that word advocate, because you've got to learn to advocate for yourself. So yes, definitely. So thank you, Seth. So at this time, I want to give Hillary and Jonathan an opportunity to say a few things, again, because they get to be before we went remote, Hillary had the opportunity of being on campus, but now, of course, both Hillary and Jonathan are doing the remote Zoom thing. So Hillary, you want to start and share a few things with the audience here?
Sure. Hi guys, my name is Hillary. I'm a peer advisor in the Disability Support Services. And what that means is I kind of work with Cindy and the students that come in and out. Sometimes Cindy doesn't have, all the availability. So I kind of intervene and help where I can if it's an easy question or easy fix. I also am very hands-on with the Project Access crew. So whatever cohort that's coming in, and if it fits with my schedule, I will go sit in the classes and kind of be there as support and kind of help you guys either in class or sometimes outside of class, which is usually in our building, but we are working remotely. So sometimes it's just a phone call or maybe a one-on-one Zoom where I can kind of help you navigate some areas. But yeah, I love working in the disability support services. I love working with Cindy. I think Mike said it best. We are a family and we try really hard to make you guys feel comfortable and in a safe environment. I know that's really important. So yeah, that's basically what I do. And yeah, I think that's it, Cindy. Wait, you're muted, Cindy.
I know, I'm sorry. I do that. I start because I was typing, so I muted, sorry. So yes, thank you, Hillary, for sharing that. Jonathan, I know you're new to our disability office, but if you'd like to share your experiences so far, that would be great.
Yeah, new but active, right? So Jonathan Donnell, I'm administrative support specialist. I'm coming from several different departments, from athletics to the Welcome Center to now disabilities. And you'll hear from me if you need to send in your renewals for accommodations, or if we need any information from you, you'll get emails from me or Hillary and even Cindy so we can keep you on track. And working towards your accomplishing your certificate or goal. If you go past your certificate. So we're in your classrooms to help and assist the professors and assist you. We try to stay in contact with you. I have students who reach out to me and say that they need help registering. I think that's a student now. But we, I'll call them back. But we're here for you like that. So if you ever need any assistance, you never have to feel like you're on your own.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. All right, so I think we've given everyone an opportunity to speak from our side. And so I want to give everyone a chance to do a Q&A. I know some questions have come through the chat. And so I'll go ahead and answer those if you're good with that. And so the last question here that's posted is, do you have any stats on employment rate of students using their certificate to gain employment in an office? So for that first question, funny enough, our students, they don't want to stop taking classes. That's been our issue. It's a good issue to have, but like I said, because we have stackable certificates, so for example, Seth, since he came in with cohort 2, he was actually able to earn, I think, more than the initial 3 certificates. Is that correct, Seth? Or do you remember how many you were earned? You're on mute. You're still on mute. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I think I earned more than one. I think I earned like 3, 4, 5 of them maybe, but I'm not sure exactly
Okay.
how many.
Yeah. So initially, because we had a 2-year degree program on our campus that all these certificates would go towards, but because of some rearranging in our degree programs and curriculum, they've kind of scaled it back. So now again, the students have the opportunity for the 3. So now we'll actually be able to start tracking more of those because they're getting to the end of the line. And so except of course for those who wanted to continue on and go into other fields of study on the campus. So I don't have a whole lot of data as far as who's been able to use those certificates to go out and get jobs, but that will be something that we'll start tracking, I think, going into this new academic year, because we definitely, we've been hearing people want to know that information and we want to know as well. So sorry, Sylvia, I don't have that answer for you right now. The next question you had is, do the TSI results have to meet the same criteria as traditional student? So the difference with the traditional student is when they do the TSI, it gives them the information. If they're not college ready, then they have to do what we call the developmental courses. And so they have to pass those developmental classes with the C or better before they can take those college level. And thankfully, with this program, our students don't have to do that. So they will be taking like business English and business math, but those are what I refer to as, I wouldn't say simple, but I would say an easier level of those classes because, for example, in the English class, our students are working on like how to send proper business letters, how to send proper emails, things like that. Yes, they're doing the parts of speech as Dr. Garcia talked about, but it's not necessarily like doing long essays, how you would normally do in a college level English class. And with math, they're going to be learning fractions, decimals, the addition, subtraction, multiply, divide, those kind of things. Money, we like them to know about, how to calculate money. That's always useful things, right? So they don't have to worry about going into college algebra or things like that. So that is the reason why they don't have to worry about taking any of those developmental courses. Now, again, that does change once a student graduates and says, well, I want to keep going to school. I want to keep learning. Well, then that's when I have to analyze those TSI scores. And then I can help determine with that student what classes they can get into to continue pursuing whatever their desire is. So I hope that answers your question. Another question is, let's see. So one of the students had mentioned, had taken some classes at one of the other sister campuses, San Antonio College, and perhaps has taken the TSI already. If you happen to be one of those students, that's fine, not a problem. I've had a few come into the program like that who have heard about us and then decided they wanted to come over to PAC to do Project Access. So again, as long as the TSI scores are within a certain amount of years, or at least you've already attempted some classes, then you do not have to test again. So that's the great thing. And again, if you've already done perhaps the student development class that Dr. Zambrano normally teaches, if you've passed that with a C or better, you don't have to take that again. We've had some students that maybe come in because they've already done that. Maybe their first semester, they simply take the keyboarding class, or vice versa. Maybe they've already had keyboarding and they need the student development. But usually after that first semester, then they're on track with the rest of their cohort from semester 2, because it's and it hasn't happened yet that a student has done the second semester's worth of classes yet. So then they're right along with their peers. So hopefully that answers your questions. Now, I would like to say at this point, if there's any questions that want to be verbalized, I mean, feel free to unmute yourself and ask. I'll be happy to answer those questions.
Cindy, there was a question in the chat line about ViaTrans.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I did write that down. Yes, ViaTrans is another mode of transportation that is recognized on our campus. I believe we have, I want to say 5 different ViaTrans drop-offs, but I will tell you this, our campus is also growing. We started construction on our campus. I don't remember if it was this semester, or I think it might have started in the fall. So some things have gotten rearranged. So they might have had to move maybe 1 or 2 of the ViaTrans drop-offs, but they will be clearly marked. They will be on our campus map as well. So yes, by all means, you can come ViaTrans, regular Via, however you need to get there. Did you have a question, Mr. Pellegrin?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, everybody. You guys are very helpful, very informative. It's breathtaking to hear you all talk. So just to understand, the cadre, the instructors, the teachers are the ones we have met tonight. It's not going to be somebody else.
No, it'll definitely be these instructors. We do have other instructors that were not able to join us tonight, possibly because they're teaching other classes in the evening, so they weren't available to be part of this. But we do have a small group of instructors that teach our program. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. No, this is fabulous because it's tailored to the audience, which is great.
Good.
You know? And the other question I had was, like, when you do the TSI and you do the interview, you'll assess whether the student can take 1 or 2 classes?
Yes. So typically, if the student's accepted into our program, they would automatically be taking the 2 classes that first semester, the student development class and the beginning keyboarding. So those are required classes that the students need. Now, the only time they don't need to take them is if perhaps they've already taken one of those classes and passed with a C or better. But yes, we try to get them to take the same classes together. So basically, the students are in what we call a lockstep program. So they're basically kind of going along together every semester.
Yes, ma'am.
And
thank you. I have other questions, but they'll come later.
Oh, no problem.
There are six instructors for the Project Access program. Okay.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
Yes, Sylvia.
No, it's Gabriella.
Okay.
We put it under my mom's name because
that's fine.
Under my mom's name.
Okay. How can I help you, Gabriella?
How do we take the TSI? Where do we take it?
So it would probably be done at home at your house. If you have a computer at home, you can do that at home. We would you'd get it set up with our testing department, our testing center. There is a fee to take the TSI. I believe it's $32, and they just test in 2 areas. And so we can get you all that information, but I would say don't worry about that right now, because again, we'll let you know as we get to that particular step. So if you make it through the interview process and we have you go through the additional enrollment steps, then when it's time to get to that TSI, we can work together to do that. Now, I will tell you the good news. I will tell you good news on the TSI test. It is untimed. So if you're a student and you feel nervous about a time test, don't worry about it. An automatic accommodation is that you can take it at your leisure. You don't have to take it all in one setting. You can break it up into 2 days if you want to. If you do need an accommodation such as a reader or a scribe, meaning a reader that somebody needs to read it to you, we do have the screen reading software called Kurzweil, and we can get that set up for you so that the test will be read to you. The other thing is if you were a student that had limited use of hands and needed somebody to write the test for you, that we would have to work out, because we'd have to have, we'd either have to see if a family member or if we would need to have a staff member help you do that.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
I was gonna ask you, can you email me the application?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, not a problem. So if anybody else has any questions, feel free to speak up.
So,
Cindy,
so
I'm not
right now,
sure if
I'm
you,
sorry.
excuse me, I'm not sure if you answered this, but Ms. Barber had another inquiry. TSI is used to determine if the reading level is sufficient.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I did miss that one. Right. So like I had mentioned before, we try to get 4th to 6th grade because we feel that that would be at that level, they would be able to comprehend the coursework that they're learning. However, we do have that screen reading software that could help read the textbook for the student, provided that they can at least comprehend what's going on and be able to carry on a conversation. So for example, one of our students in the past, I would refer to him as maybe more street smart versus book smart, you know, because he could handle himself very well. Maybe he wasn't the best reader, but that was okay. He was able to get through our program and earn several certificates and was very successful. So that's the reason why we just kind of take everything and put it in the mix. Does that answer your question, Sylvia?
So I think it mostly does, but so I'm just wondering if we're going to have another reading assessment, or is the TSI is what you can use to gauge that 4th to 6th grade? And I know you're looking at other information too. I'm just trying to see, is that what you're looking at to try to gauge that, or do I need to try to provide some outside information?
Oh, no, you wouldn't need to provide anything else. The TSI will tell us.
Okay. And then I have one more question. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Do you, like, how many students typically apply? So I'm just wondering, you're accepting 9, is it, you know, hundreds that apply, or do you have an idea of how many typically apply?
Sure. So it could be anywhere between 20 and 30. Every semester it kind of varies. So I do want to try to accept a max of 12. And the reason for that is because, you know, it'll take care of that any little attrition that we happen to have. Sometimes we might have a student that maybe the program's not for them, and so they've decided to back out. I just don't want to go too low below 10. So that's why our target is between 10 and 12. It's very well possible that we could have in the hundreds applying for our program if I were to advertise more. So over the years, I've kind of held back on that advertisement because I don't want, you know, all these people to be waiting in the sidelines, right, to get into the program, because I know there's that need for them, but we want to be able to assist those that are ready to come in. And we have in the past put some on what we call our waiting list because maybe we've reached that capacity of 10 students or 11 students in the past. And so we've had to tell a few that maybe we're like the next in line. Okay, we'll consider you for the next semester. And so that's a possibility as well.
Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Ms. Morgan, I have one last question. So
yes, sir.
Based on the outline you presented, the next target would be to fill out the application and then wait for the interview?
Yes, fill out the application, get that emailed to me, and then, like I said, as soon as I get that, I'll make a phone call out to your house and ask a few questions of your student. And you know, if they happen to not be there when I call, I'll try to confirm when is a good time that we can have that conversation. And the pre-interview questions, I mean, we're talking like maybe 10 minutes tops, maybe 15. And then again, once we've gone past that, then we'll go ahead and schedule the actual Zoom interview. And again, the Zoom interview will just be myself, the 2 instructors, and then the student and parent or guardian.
Perfect. And as far as we're done with the questions, we'll just be waiting for that link to do the application then. Thank you. Thank you all, everybody.
Yeah, not a problem. Now, speaking of the application, so can anybody see the application in the chat, or do I need to input that again so that y'all can click on that?
It's there, Cindy. I clicked on it and it works.
Okay, good.
Yes,
Now-
and everyone else, all family members, I was able to access the application by that chat. It was super easy just to click on
good.
that, download it and print it.
Thank you. I'm glad for that. Yeah, so let me see if anybody else had any questions. Oh yeah, and so for those who wanted the PowerPoint presentation, do y'all pretty much everybody want a copy? I can send everyone a copy that's on here. I believe I have everyone's. Okay, I believe I have everyone's email address, but I'm
Miss, I
going
don't
to
see
double check.
the Miss.
Yes.
I don't see the link to the
application.
application.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me see if I can drop it into there again for you. Hold on just a moment. Oops, hold on.
Miss Morgan.
Everyone, yes?
This is me, Juan. I don't see the application either.
Okay, check the chat right now because I just put it there.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, sure. Can y'all see that? Did it come through for y'all? Okay. And so I'm going to
No,
double
it didn't.
check. You did not?
We don't see it, but we're thinking maybe it's because we're using our phone right now.
Oh yeah, that could be. All right, so let's see. So that's under Jennifer Garcia, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm going to put a note here to email, and let me just double check my list to make sure that I did have your email address. And let's see, Jennifer Garcia. Yes, okay, so I have your email address. Who else was needing it? Was that Juan?
Yes, ma'am. I look at the chat. I couldn't see it. Can you email it to me?
Yes. Okay, let me make sure I have your.
Gabriela Barrera.
Okay.
Thank you.
Gabriela Barrera. Okay.
It's under Celia Barrera, but it's Gabriela Barrera.
Okay, that's fine. Let me put email here. I'm double checking. Let's see.
Miss Morgan.
Yes.
I have a question.
Sure.
Okay, so I already graduated in 2018, and I want to do this program, but I need to know, do I have to like retake the TSI test again?
I'd have to check to see what the date of yours is.
It was in 2017. I took it in 2017.
17, 18, 19, 20. If you took classes, you're probably going to be okay, and you probably would not need to test again. But we can definitely, I can look at that. If you know your banner number, when I call you for the pre-screening interview, you can give me that banner number, and then I can double check the system for you. Does that sound okay?
Yeah. What do you mean by like taking classes? Like I don't understand that.
Have you ever registered at any of the Alamo colleges and taken any classes?
No, it's not over yet. To take a dual credit class, and they told me to take the TSI.
Okay. So if you did dual credit, chances are I can see your TSI as well.
Okay.
So yeah, that's fine. Yeah, not a problem. Were there any other questions that I did not get to answer yet? And again, I do want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. Y'all have made it very interactive, and I do appreciate all of the questions. I really do. It's much nicer than just being quiet, because then I feel like, okay, what did I say wrong? So thank you for being talkative. Truly appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you all very much for your service you provide and for this briefing.
Oh, you're welcome, sir. I appreciate y'all as well. So I don't want to necessarily keep y'all. If y'all got what you needed, you're welcome to drop off. Again, make sure that you did get access to the application. If not, send me an email. I'll try to actually email everyone that's on here with that information. Juan, are you good? Were you able to hear things? I know you missed out on some of the information at the beginning, right?
Yes, I was paying attention with the PowerPoint. I have another question.
Sure.
So I know it's been a while since I did the TSI, and I already graduated, and I'm want to do the program. But do I need to make another Texas application, like Texas Apply, the financial aid?
Probably so, but I'll have to take a look at that. But again, that's part of the application enrollment step. So what I will tell everyone that's on here now, when you fill out that application, because when you download it, it is going to have page 1 and page 2. Page 1 is basically the information that I need y'all to fill out. Page 2 is simply the steps, the enrollment steps. So please do me a favor, just simply fill out the front page and email that to me. But on page 2, where it has those enrollment steps, I ask you to please do not start those yet. So please do not do the Apply Texas. Don't do anything yet until we've gotten through the interviews. The reason why I say that is because for anyone who applies to Palo Alto College or any of the community colleges, you're actually automatically accepted, okay? Everyone gets accepted to community college. However, Project Access, because we are a unique small program, there's the additional steps that you have to go through. So that's the reason why I ask y'all to please just don't go forward until I've communicated to you, okay?
Okay.
Okay, good.
It just that's the reason I was asking these questions, because I already graduated and I want to do college, and this is my first time, and I'm very excited because I heard good things about the Project Access.
Good. Okay, good. Well, we'll definitely have the conversation, not a problem. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Garcia. I applaud you guys as well. So thank you again, everybody who contributed to this evening. Y'all made it a very big success. I truly appreciate it. I do look forward to getting those applications in the email. So please don't disappoint. Send me those applications and we will definitely talk in the next few days, right? So we can get those interviews done. So again, if anybody has any questions, y'all have my phone number, you have my email. Just let me know how I can help.
Thank you for doing this presentation and